So one thing I found really interesting about Elliot was the interwoven of dialogue between characters. I found that kind of extremely important. I've actually never seen that before in a play, so that was the first thing that stood out for the entirety of my reading the play was the interwoven of dialogue. Two values: justice, kind of pertaining to war in general, and which kind of pertains to the play in general. The play is about war. The play is about three different wars, um, and kind of is war really justified? And the second value is trauma, which happens to be connected with American soldiers or just soldiers in general. And we see an example of that when Elliot, he's not wanting to be seen as a soldier when he returns to Philadelphia. He kind of, his friends come up to him and ask him all these questions, and he's basically just like, no, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do anything about it. The term I found really kind of confusing at first was melancholy, and it was used in a sentence when Grandpop was kind of showing his platoon how the different chords of the instrument, the flute, and he was showing him a major chord and showing a minor, and major kind of pertaining to happiness, kind of a happy melody, and minor pertaining to kind of a sad melody. And I drew a connection. The definition of the word was a feeling of pensive sadness. And I drew a connection between the definition and kind of war being all sad, being all, there's death all around. It's very sorrow. It's a horrific scenario. But the interview between Elliot and the producer where he states, people say, oh, that must be scary. But when you're there, you're like, oh shit, and you react. Basically, that's kind of saying, okay, you're an American citizen, you're over here, you're not really in the action, you don't know really what's going on other than what the news tells you. So it's a lot different when you're an American soldier in the actual action. It's basically kill or be killed over there, and that's kind of what Elliot is saying, is that they say it's scary, but scary does not sum the action up. Scary does not... To an American soldier, scary is nothing, because an American soldier he or she has been there. It's kill or be killed, but it's kind of what separates the ideas of the idea of what people in America think compared to what an American soldier thinks. The next question, fugue is kind of a definition where it's basically what the play is based off of. The structure of the play is based off. And it's the interwoven of dialogue between characters, which really shows it draws a connection between all four characters in a way, even though the characters kind of fought in different wars at different time periods. And the director kind of gets out, is war really justified? Is the play is kind of saying, okay, all this action is taking place, but it also shows the horrific side of war. And this leads me to my first question, is when is war really justified? And the second one is, she may pertain to justification, but does she also pertain to, or kind of hinting at, a disregard for human rights that is often seen in times of war?